Bro, this dude here has to be the one of the most insufferable simps in all of anime history, bro. He's so intolerable as a main character that I dead ass didn't even finish the series. He pissed me off that much that my body refused to click the next episode. Now, if you don't know who this character is, you should honestly count yourself lucky, because this dude here makes you want to throttle him. Now, this, my fellow DJs, is a character that goes by the name Arajin Tomoshibi. Now, he is from a show called Bucchigiri. If you Google Bucchigiri right now, one of the first questions that pop up is Bucchigiri worth watching? My answer to that is, if you value your laptop or whatever device you're watching your show on, I'ma say hell nah. Because you're gonna want to put your hand through that screen and absolutely choke slam his ass through a fucking 3rd story building. Now, if you don't know what Bucchigiri is, okay, the basic premise of the show is that it's a high school fighting anime, kind of like Tokyo Revengers, but it has ancient fighting spirits that merge with their fighter. And the more powerful they get is how strong their emotions are. Now, I know what you're sitting there probably thinking, Ren, that actually sounds cool as hell, bro. You sure you're not overreacting? And to that, I say the same thing until I got 7 episodes deep and popped the blood vessel from how infuriating this nigga is. Now, for you to understand why I'm so pissed off at this character, I'm gonna give you a little rundown on him, okay? So our boy here, who I'm gonna call Tomo, because that's just way simpler to say, main goal in life is to lose his virginity. Now, as an ex-teenager myself, you know, I understand that feeling, okay? You know, soon as I hit 9th grade, really in 8th grade, my whole goal was to get cheeks. So I can sympathize with my bro right there, okay? So Tomo transfers to this new school, and it's just a school full of delinquents that's just like to fight. Now remember, our boy whole goal is to lose his virginity. So, you know what I'm saying? This ain't what he want, but he does see this one girl in class that as soon as he see, his heart just thumps out of his chest. This little she-devil here is named Mahoro, and boy, do I tell you, it just goes downhill from here. Now, the first episode, it don't go too downhill, but boy, let me tell you, buckle up, because you about to see what I'm talking about. Now, as soon as they introduce themselves, she immediately starts buttering my boy up, like straight send him up. And of course, as the horny teenager my boy is, he falls straight for it. Now, she pretty much asks him to walk her home, and he's like, oh yeah, bet I am. So she goes out to class and waits for him by the gate. So as Tomo's walking out of class, he gets picked on by these 2 kids right here. So he runs through the hallway and runs into another one. This here, my fellow DJs, is Matakara. Now, if the show was based around him and not that other limp noodle of a main character, this show would probably be goated, okay? It'd be one of the top shows of 2024. But sadly, it's not, and we gotta deal with this goofball of a character. Now, Tomo and Matakara are actually childhood friends, but due to something that happened in their past, Tomo has distanced himself from Matakara. But we'll get to that when we get to that. Let me just tell you, when we get to it, it's gonna piss you off even more. So we skip past a couple of days, and Mahiro and Tomo go on a little party date, something a little chill. This on this date where he gives her this thing called a forever stone, which pretty much means, if we give it to you, we're gonna love each other forever. And the look on her face when he gives it to her is just fucking priceless. The look of disgust is amazing. Also, side note, check out my dude's drip, or should I say lack thereof, because boy, what are you wearing? Like, my man's really walked out here with a untucked dress shirt with a fucking sweater vest overshirt, gay, with some fucking blue jeans, man. Like, bro, this that fit that people on Instagram put on, be like, hey bro, this shit Balenci though. So as Tomo's explaining how much she really likes Mahiro over here, they get pulled up on by some goofy looking dude. Now my boy Tomo asks who is he, and then he says he's the leader of Sigma Squad. Now I forgot to mention this in the synopsis of the video, but pretty much this is about gang fights pretty much. You got Minato Kai, you got Sigma Squad, and you got this other gang called Energy Boys, who are from another school, and they just pretty much get into fights all the time. That's really the whole rundown of the show for real. So after he tells Tomo who he is, Tomo then grabs Mahiro and slowly starts to walk away, and this is where that BS comes in. Mahiro slowly grabs Tomo and says, can you fight for me? After he hears this nigga goes cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. And he's just like, oh yeah, you bet I can. And this is where he finds out that Mahiro and the leader are actually siblings. Now, of course, my boy's getting mollywopped because, he's a limp noodle that can't actually fight. This is also where we learn that Mahiro is a she-devil. So pretty much she sets boys up so she can get caught with them and her brother can go and beat their ass. Now, based on this, you would think that her brother is a sister con, but it's actually the opposite. She's actually just a huge brother con, and it's just crazy, okay? It's just really crazy. So as my boy is just straight up getting mollywopped on the ground, his fighting spirit is about to leave him. He's like, okay, this is obviously a waste of time. Until he's like, nah, bro, I ain't dying yet. And his fighting spirit is like, so what do you truly wish for? And this is where he bares his teeth, shows his fangs, and says it with his chest that his one wish is to lose his virginity, and with the power of his fighting spirit deliver one gut-wrenching punch. Now, of course, the dude pretty much just eats the punch, gets up, and kicks his ass into the river, but he ends up falling in love with Tomo because of his strength and wants to recruit him to Sigma. So after the fight, we cut to Mohoro eating lunch by herself on the rooftop, and then you see Tomo come walk right up and pretty much get to flirting with her, you know, trying to lay the moves on her. She pretty much cuts him off right mid-sentence and says, "If you ever hurt my brother again, I'ma kill you," and then proceeds to give him back his love for Everstone. He explains to her that she's supposed to keep it, but she just breaks it right in front of his face. Now she pretty much makes it clear that she doesn't like this dude, okay? And any normal person would have been like, okay, she don't like me, cut my losses, leave. But no, he just keeps on simping for her. Now this is just case one of his simping, okay? It gets worse as the show goes on. Like I said, there's multiple examples of his simping, but there's this one moment, okay, that happened that I just couldn't forgive and made me drop the show. And it's the reason why I'm even making this video to begin with, cause oh boy. So episode 6 is pretty much a big gang brawl between all three major gangs. Okay, it was a setup by the Energy Boys for Minato Kai and Sigma Squad to pretty much wipe each other out and they can do the cleanup. But that's neither here nor there. So this moment happens when Matakara is getting whipped worse than a runaway slave. Like, bro, you would have thought he said his name was Toby or something. Now as Matakara is getting his face beat in, we get a little bit of a backstory between Tomo and Matakara. When both of them were younger, they both got jumped by some older kids. Now Matakara held that shit down like a real nigga while Tomo ran like a bitch. And ever since that happened, Tomo couldn't forgive himself, okay? So he started to put distance between him and Matakara because he just didn't feel like a real friend. So this is where you think, okay, he about to redeem himself, he about to go save Matakara and, you know, say show some growth from when he was a kid. And you'll be dead wrong if you thought that. See, what actually happens is that Matakara gets whipped and he just sits on that ground afraid and shaking in his drawers. And here comes the moment that made me drop the show. Now Mohoro walks up to the leader of the Energy Boys and tells him to disappear because, you know, they kind of just destroyed both the squads. And she tells him, yeah, you know, get out of here, you creep. And this is where one of the most satisfying moments happen, okay? He pretty much backhands her with the whip. And when I tell you, boy, I was so happy to see that. See, to me, that moment right there almost felt as good when Naruto killed Pain for that get back for Jiraiya. And like the good old saying goes, every time a bitch gets slapped, an angel gets his wings. But in this case, it wasn't an angel, it was this nigga Tomo finally growing some nuts. So as the leader of Energy Boys is about to finish Mohoro off, Tomo gets his fighting spirit up to 100% and blocks the strikes and hits him with that Yagiri dude. So he absolutely knocks him out and everybody gets to celebrate it and woohoo! Now we cut to the next episode and, you know, Mohoro's brother's in the hospital and he comes to visit because he knows Mohoro's gonna be there because it's her brother. So Mohoro's brother tells her to leave, so she runs out of the hospital room and Tomo comes running after her. And this is where she slams him against the wall and makes him know, bro, beating some random dude don't make you nothing. So she's pretty much trying to get the point across to Tomo like, yo, I don't like you, leave me alone, I'll never fall for you. And leaves. But Tomo doesn't see it this way. No. Instead, he just starts squealing like a schoolgirl and be like, she just slammed me against the wall. She want me. And that was the moment I cut this show off and never watched it again. So now hopefully you understand why I fucking hate this character with all of my very being, okay? And if watching this video made you want to watch the show, you know, I pray for your laptop. But with that being said, it's the end of today's video, guys. Make sure to hit that like button if you enjoyed today's video, and who knows, you might even want to subscribe. You know, it's free. It don't cost nothing to show somebody some love. So, it's been your marvelous leader, Sage Mode Ren, and I hope you're having a fantastic day.